Good morning everybody, my name is Osa. We are playing Farming Simulator 22 on Maypole Farm, and I got right down to the store this morning. It is September and we have made the first purchase on the farm for farm equipment. You will see we have a brand new Massey Ferguson 6S, 150 horsepower I believe. It has the nitrogen sensors on the wings, and we also bought some sprayer and liquid spray. In fact, we bought concentrated solid stuff which you water down to make liquid spray. During last, or just after last week's session, we've also added a small workshop and sleep trigger to our house. The workshop's at the farm, not at the house, obviously. Oh, select the tractor, then it'll see that. And we bought Field 50 as well, which is full of sunflowers, and they're not ready to harvest, and the nitrogen content on them sucks really badly. So I paid a geologist so much. What's the deal here? Is that the back tank that's full? Ah, there we go. Yes. In other words, yes, it was the back tank that was full. And can I see the fill indicator on the front? I can't, but okay. So, first things first, I want to fertilize field 50, because as I said, the fertilization levels are really bad. But we do have sunflowers in it, so I don't think sunflowers need a lot of nitrogen. Then after that, I think there's a couple of contracts on. Let's bump up time a little. There's a couple of contracts that we could take on for fertilization, which will help our finances. At the moment, obviously, ooh, thanks dude. At the moment we have probably just about sufficient money to rent a harvester or lease a harvester. However, we're also going to need a grain cart. So, as I surmised when we started this is probably going to be a big struggle for the startup. And I have kind of over-purchased on the tractor. But I figure the 6S is going to be a little bit more useful than some of the smaller tractors. I was considering maybe the 5S or maybe the Valtra G or the Fen 300. Fen 300 is a difficult choice because it is a bit more expensive than the other two tractors, that offers similar functionality. So there's our house, there's our Land Rover, and there's our field of sugar beets. Sugar beets. The sunflower things. Yes. Now, I do have row crop tyres on, so no harm to the crop. Now this is budget spraying. We do not have very wide working width on this. And let's bring up the help. We are on auto. And I should probably raise that. Okay, and this is a really late time to be harvesting this, but as you can see, pH is down 0.5. That's okay, as it says. Nitrogen, just we don't have any. So we will get this turned on and use the mini-map to spray the entire field. Now this is a good sized field as far as I can tell. So we shouldn't do too badly here. Obviously, once the nitrogen is at perfect levels, and even now, it's not going down very fast because, as I said, sunflowers don't need a lot of nitrogen. So it's a good starting crop in that respect, that you're not dumping half a ton of fertilizer on a field just to bring it up to the levels you want it. Now, obviously, later on, we have a cow shed, we have a pig enclosure. So chances are we will have one or the other of those, but not for the first couple of years. But that will mean that good grief. Okay, this is a bit of a problem. I wasn't expecting this, but the crop goes all the way to the edge of this field, which isn't entirely a good thing. Probably going to lose the left-hand edge of this. Just because the trees are in the way. Now obviously the options I have here are chop down some of the trees, especially in this corner, which may not be a bad idea. Or this year we're going to lose some of the sunflowers, obviously, because we just can't make it close to the edge. But those trees are overhanging the field, which is going to cause a problem for a harvester with clearance. Especially this first year, I'm not intending to rent a big harvester. So we'll be using something relatively small, and thus we won't have the extra width of the header to get under the trees and keep the harvester clear. But this will seriously help our yield. I also don't know what our environmental score is at the moment, but we're going to need to check on that. I believe everything starts at 50, so we're right in the middle of all of the different environmental score options. By spraying and bringing the nitrogen up to full, that's gone a good way to improve the environmental score on that count. We've also, because I paid the geologist to come out and do the soil analysis for me while I was out shopping. That has bumped up the environmental score because we now have the soil map. Now obviously we need to keep that up, and from what I'm aware of, every 6 harvests you have to reanalyze the soil. Eventually I'm probably going to go out and buy an Asaria Scout, but for right now we've got 2 fields. We only have to do them once every 6 harvests. So let's go there. So our environmental score on both of these fields is currently 57. This one may rise as we improve the soil condition. Where is the environmental score for the farm? That's a good question. And the way to purchase is to you select the field, purchase the soil information, and it will do all the usual stuff. There's our total environmental score. So we have nitrogen is at 15, pH is at 7.5, which is middle, weed control middle, soil sampling, we've got all the soil that we own sampled, and I can't sample anything else, but it's only giving me 11.3 there, and then tillage is at the middle as well. Oops, and we need to go forwards. Let's go forwards. Now my plans for the cow pasture, because it's been seeded with grass but it's not growing, I would like to rent a small subsoiler because it needs ploughed. And I think at least for the first year the plan is going to be to mow the grass and sell it in whatever form we can get away with. Unfortunately, we have very little cash, but we do have, I believe, 300,000 in loans that we can take out availability. So we could buy grass cutting equipment and various other things. So we're not in complete dire straits right now. Obviously, as time progresses and we borrow more money, our abilities get far more restricted. So I want to hold off borrowing money for as long as we can. Because not borrowing money does give us at least a little bit of sort of choice in what we can do. Once we run out of loan, then we're really down to well, you're going to have to do it this way because you don't have the money to do it the way you want to. So we're gonna go as free, as much freedom of choice as we can get right now, and we'll worry about everything else later. And should probably run along this bottom in as straight a line as possible, and we can use the sunflower rows to guide us. But this sunflower field will give us something that's going to create some income during the course of this year. And we really need to look at covering our loan interest payments as well. also going to be painful as time goes. Now, what else do we need to do? So I think pretty much most of today is just gonna be earning some money from fertilization contracts using this setup. I picked the Kverneland sprayer for two reasons. One, it can mount the weed spot and spray, and two, we can increase the working width. I wasn't sure. Yes, we can select to turn off the edges if we want to. Obviously, I don't think we need to turn off the edges with the doodads on the mirrors. So with the crop sensors, I don't think I have to turn off or shut down the width control. But we have it there and probably can make use of it when we're doing contract spraying. But, yeah, this is going to take... This is not going to be as quick a job as I would like it to be, but it's sufficient. I'm going to swing around the bottom, see if we can nab this bit here. Well, yeah, that looked like it happened. Trying to line up on a row of sunflowers. So we've got a tiny bit at the end. We'll see how this works out. But the whole goal here is I want the sunflower yield to be as good as possible. I'm not really too fussed about the environmental score. That will give us a bonus to the amount that we make when we sell the sunflowers. But having more product is definitely going to help finances better than a 3, 4, 5% bonus to our sales. So once this is all done, and we have a number of things going on this weekend in real life. So the kids are coming over later. I may have to finish the stream earlier than about midday in order to go and fetch them. I don't know what the plans are for that count, and Mrs. Osa's still asleep, which is one of the reasons why I stream on Saturday mornings, because nobody else is up. But we will see. We'll get an update later on in the day as to what we're planning to do. Oops, that's interesting. Oh, we caught that tiny little bit that we missed as we were doing the loop around on the right there, where the field gets narrower. On the second headland, as we were running round, I missed a bit between first and second pass. And we just tagged the edge of that. And there we go. Okay. Now I downloaded the T4 and T5 New Hollands, and I was thinking about using those, but they will not mount the crop sensors. And since this tractor is probably going to be I mean, it's not really ideal. It's an ideal starting tractor. We can push it up to 200 horsepower if we need to, but primarily it's fairly capable as a small tractor, and I need something fairly modern because I needed the crop sensors so I could run it as a spraying tractor. Little bit more capable than, say, the S5, the 5S, or the Valtra G, or the Fendt 300. There's probably some others out there that we could have considered. This is the small. What is considered to be the smallest of the medium the cheapest of the medium tractors. Okay, just finish off this little bit, and we still have 3/4 of a tank left. So I'll shut that down. Oops. And fold it up. Okay, so I guess it doesn't update the nitrogen until you, or the nitrogen score, should I say, until harvest. But we can see now this is very pleasantly, perfectly fertilized. Only 80 kilograms per hectare, so it's a good crop for start out. Now, as I said, I do believe there are a couple of... Oh, there aren't any fertilizer. That's a shame. Well, I guess we are going back to the yard. I did take the option to put a front loader console on this tractor. So we will be able to use it for shopping purposes as well. So the question is, what do we do next? And here's the entrance to our yard. Oh, tree. Now, one thing I noticed about this yard, there are a lot of sheds. So if we jump out, obviously pig shed, cow shed over there, we're not going to be messing with. But some of these other sheds, we could theoretically remove them and put in some greenhouses or something like that. I actually want to run around the back here. Squeeze through the hedge. So this completely backs onto the pig yard. So if I pull these down and put up some greenhouses, I would have to put up a hedge or a fence there to keep the pigs in. But yeah, over here there's a couple of sheds there which we could just rip down and put sunflowers here. So workshop there, cleaning tool there. This is seeds. I think that's seeds and mineral feed. That's the solid fertilizer, so that means liquid is over here. Over by the cows. Somewhere. Okay. Let's go for a drive, see if we can find it. Liquid fertilizer straight ahead. So I believe I should just be able to... Oh. Oops, wrong one. Yes. That should be feeding the back one. And if I run up to there and unload... Seriously? Come on. Oh, there it is. Keep an eye out for the little prompt at the bottom of the screen. Really? There. So do that, it'll empty into the tank. So now, if I get out here, we have 2,146 litres of liquid fertilizer. I could go fetch the rest in this, or we could figure something different. Oh, hang on, that started growing. Oh, that's a pain. pH value bad. Nitrogen good. Needs ploughed. See, that's what I was thinking of. That's 2 or 3. Maybe we'll do that over winter. Just plough it all in and lime it and do the thing. But I think for right now, this can probably sit in the shed next to the fertilizer tank, because obviously that's probably going to be the most useful place to keep it. Okay, alright, and drop it off. There's a little bit of room there. And I bought the front container because it really doesn't cost much in the way of things, and it does help to counterbalance the weight of the sprayer when it's full. Okay, so this is growth stage 2 of 3. And it's growing, so it's not ready to harvest. So I think we're okay on that factor now. Oh, what do we want to do? As I said, there's no... Well, it's a nice big baling contract. Maybe we'll borrow the items. Okay. Well, we need something to do, and I may use our 6S on this as well. Obviously, we don't have the equipment to do this ourselves. But 15,000 is